In taking their action to evade or avoid providing information, the administration unnecessarily raises the suspicion that it has something to hide, that it might use the claim of national security to hide mistakes that are literally questions of life and death for Americans.
That was Hillary Clinton back in 2003. Oh, here we go. We're joined now by Senator Chuck Grassley, U.S. Senator, of course, Chairman of the Senate Judiciary Committee, and member of the U.S. Finance Committee as well. Mr. Chairman, welcome, sir.
I'm glad to be with you. I'm always glad to be on Newsmax.
Well,
Thank you.
We're thrilled to have you, and it's such an important issue that, of course, the media, some of them anyway, would love to see go away. Before we get to Huma Abedin and really important questions, let me ask you about the latest. First of all, we had Hillary announce through her lawyer that the server has been scrubbed. That was on Friday. Today, Trey Gowdy made a request to her attorney that she needs to testify before the Special Benghazi Committee, Select Committee, before May 1st. And now we also find out that Hillary sent emails to Huma Abedin, for one, using another device, not just her BlackBerry, but an iPad. So weigh in on all of these inconsistencies and outrages, if you will.
Well, I think they all fall into one great big mistake she made, and it could be a violation of law, probably is a violation of law. Some people are suggesting she could even be prosecuted, and that's as simple as this. She was using a private email address instead of a government one, and it probably violates the Freedom of Information Act. It probably violates national security legislation laws, and it really hurts congressional oversight, because when I first got involved with asking some email on the personnel issue that you brought up, we were told that there wasn't any email. Well, at that time, we didn't know that she had her own server. And in the meantime, we find out that she's got her own email, her own server. So then we write back and say we want that email, because that's probably what we were asking for in the first place. And so you can't do congressional oversight, which is our constitutional responsibility as a check on the executive branch of government to make sure that the laws are faithfully executed.
You know, Lanny Davis was on earlier, and Lanny Davis said, why would Hillary hand the server over to a partisan man like Trey Gowdy? That's not acceptable thought, is it?
Absolutely not, because if somebody, you got to have some independent judgment. Like if this was email within the State Department, you could go to the Inspector General to get a third party to make a decision whether or not the information was available. In this particular instance, if it's a violation of federal law, you ought to have the opportunity to get the information whether or not the law was violated. And if they're within the law, why would they object to doing it? And hiding behind something political just is not justified, because Congress is doing its constitutional responsibility of oversight to make sure the laws are faithfully executed. Are they faithfully executing the laws? If they were, then there's no reason to hide anything.
You know, some have suggested, Senator, that she learned from her time on the committee, the Watergate committee, you know, and she realized that if Nixon had just destroyed the tapes, then probably he wouldn't have been forced to resign. So she learned from that. She destroyed the emails, and you know, now no one, in her mind, no one could prove much.
Well, Nixon was impeached because he violated some law, and she can't be impeached now because she doesn't hold a public office. But that doesn't reduce the necessity of following federal law, and that federal law was that she should have used the State Department email, and that email would be available for congressional oversight. Because remember, we have three branches of government, because the colonists at the time that wrote the Constitution they were sick and tired of one man, George III, running the country. So they divided up all governmental power among three with checks and balances. So she can't be all powerful.
What about Huma Abedin, her confidant, her assistant? How did Huma Abedin have this special employment status while working at the State Department? She also had an outside job.
Well, it's kind of a hybrid situation. I don't want to say at this point it was illegal, but that's why we have congressional oversight, and that's why I had my investigation. That's why I asked for the emails to find out whether everything was according to Hoyle. And we don't get the information, so I can't make a judgment. But it sure looks very obscure. It is obscure, and it raises a lot of questions about what's this individual's special circumstances that they ought to be hired under these circumstances. And then if they're being paid by the federal taxpayers and they got a full-time job, can they really be running a private business? But these are all questions. Maybe it's all legitimate, but I don't think so. But we got to get to the bottom of it and make that determination.
Do you have confidence that when it comes to Trey Gowdy's Benghazi Select Committee, that they will get answers? Do you have confidence that you will get the information that you've requested, the emails you've requested?
I got more confidence that Trey will be able to get it than I will be, but he's not after the same information I'm after.
Right.
But he may be able to get me some information that I wouldn't get. But on the other hand, I'm in a little stronger position now than I was over the last 3 years when we were trying to get this information on this person, because they always rejected my requests or didn't take them seriously because I wasn't, quote unquote, a chairman.
Well, now you
and
are.
Somehow they didn't have to answer me. Now I'm chairman of the committee, and so I'm in a better position to force the issue, and you know, Chuck Grassley, I'm not going to give up.
Well, listen, I was just going to say, I know you won't give up, and you took the words out of my mouth, and please hold their feet to the fire. The American public are behind you, and we want to know the answers. Senator, a pleasure and an honor to speak with you, sir.
Thank you very much. Call me again if you need me.
We will do. We absolutely will. Chuck Grassley, ladies and gentlemen, chairman of the Senate Judiciary Committee. All right, folks, when we come back, we're going to talk to a senior fellow at the Foundation for the Defense of Democracies. Don't go away.